Hey Scorpio. Hey. All right. So I've been sitting here with Spirit and they've been kind of giving me the download for your reading today. And I have to say, we're in another part of the saga you've been in around this sort of gold coins metaphor, the treasures metaphor, like all of that we've been talking about for the last couple of readings for you throughout the last couple of months. So it seems like we're in another part of that, which is the message I have today for you. Okay, and so what Spirit is showing now, this feels like it's continuing from the last reading that I did for you. So if you're new here, you may want to check out that reading for the last one that I've posted for you. You can even check the playlist tab on this channel if you want to go back and watch a few of those. But this is a continuation. So the last time when we had left off with your reading, you were kind of on a journey to find this like treasure, to find the gold coins and all of that bit of the storyline. Okay, so what Spirit is showing me now, Scorpio, is they're showing me a snake. And Spirit is being very clear that you are the snake. Okay, you are the snake. Okay, and I see you in this cave. Almost seemingly it's giving a little bit of like Indiana Jones vibes or something, or even like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes. Like it's like you're going into this like, you know, cave, underground, sort of underground, or just in a mountain kind of cave. Okay. And I see you kind of like moving into the cave. There's like, you know, the fire torches along the walls, and you're moving deeper into the cave. And so as you come into what looks like a kind of cave opening, you kind of come into finally what looks like treasure chests, and like treasure kind of spilling out of the treasure chest is what I'm seeing. And it's really, really cool to kind of see this. But it's Spirit is saying that what they're saying is you've stumbled upon the jewels and the treasures. Okay, and this reading takes place for the next 2 weeks. It sounds like 2 to 3 weeks from Spirit, but this energy has been ongoing. But it feels like you hit another kind of part of this journey that you've been on. Okay, and so I see you coming in as the snake. You're kind of seeing all of these treasures, and then it's really interesting because then you start like going closer to all of the gold coins and everything that's spilling out of these chests, and I see you start circling the chests. Okay, so that's what you're doing now. Okay, so there's a couple of things that Spirit is saying here. First, that these were the jewels and treasures that you were looking for. Okay, so that feels really important. There's some sort of like clarification they wanted to give around that. So that feels clear. Please remember the jewels and the treasures can represent, the gold coins can represent anything. For some of you, it is around like monetary or material things. For others of you, this honestly feels like a metaphor for like finding some sort of like treasure or important information about yourself. So that's another way you can interpret this. Again, just think of it as a metaphor, but there's a lot of ways this is coming in. But it's something that you had been looking for, okay? And the other thing they're showing me, and this feels really important, which we're gonna dive into in this reading with the cards and everything else, is they're showing a ring. And this is actually the same ring I've been talking about from the last like couple of readings for you. There's always a ring that seems to be popping up in these readings. And so anyway, it's a ring that's here. And there's something really important about this ring. So we're gonna look at that in just a moment, but there's a ring that is like kind of at the center of all of this treasure. It's almost like the ring was the thing you were looking for, okay? And it's really great you found all the other treasures, but it was the ring you were looking for. It seems really important. Okay, so we're gonna go into that in just a moment. But the other thing Spirit brought out is Spirit wanted to be very clear that you're circling the chests, and you're actually making, as the snake, you're making the ouroboros symbol. Okay, so they really want you to look that up. But there's a few things they're saying about that specifically that's going to be important. So first, there's an energy around like Egyptians coming through, so that feels really, really strong. There's also they're saying, Scorpio, that you're coming full circle, full cycle, and that you're coming into your rebirth now. So I feel like everything up to this point has been sort of that, you know, there's like a kind of death, because that's represented in our Scorpio tarot card, right? Or that tarot card, it represents Scorpio. Okay, the death tarot card. So it's almost like you've been in this sort of like transformation, transition, transformational type of process. And so you're finally coming into the actual rebirth part of it. So Spirit wants to be very, very clear on that. Like I feel like you were like, when was this going to happen? And so Spirit is confirming like that's actually happening now or coming up. Okay. So that feels really, really strong. So again, you're coming full circle. The other thing they're saying is the ouroboros also represents for you something around becoming conscious of self. So self-consciousness is another way you could say it, but they want to be very clear. It's like a self-awareness or a knowing of self. Okay, but I would definitely encourage you to look deeper into all of the lore around the ouroboros because that feels important for your reading. We're going to go ahead and dive deeper into this. I just feel like this is going to get really like deep here, and I'm very, very excited for it. So let's do that. All right. Okay, I was just setting my timer here. Yeah, it's almost like time is now. That always happens. I always have to set my timer when there's some sort of important information about divine timing, but it feels like the time is finally now. All right, so you're actually entering finally your rebirth that you've been looking for. Yeah, because the ouroboros is like truly that symbol is Scorpio. That's the Scorpio archetype, right? So it's just like you're coming into yourself. You're coming back into, again, full circle, full cycle, coming back into your renewal phase, your rebirth phase, out of the part where essentially like, I guess you eat yourself. You know, the kind of phoenix, when the phoenix kind of burns up and turns to ashes, it's almost like you're coming out of the ashes now. It's like, again, it's the rebirth part of it. All right, so let's get a little bit more, Spirit. Do you have anything else you want to build on this card? Ooh. Oh, I like this. It says altar. It says gratitude, releasing burdens. Oh my gosh. So the way this is coming through from Spirit, I really like this. The way this is coming through from Spirit is almost like this is some of the things that you're kind of like stumbling upon in this cave. It's almost like, yeah, do you see this? It's like, they're showing me the pentagram on here really strongly, almost as if this were a bag of pentacles is what they're trying to show me, even though it looks like there's flowers in it. Yeah, it's almost like you come across the like gold globe. It's like there's different things in this space, but it's a little altar-like. There's like, again, treasures here. It almost kind of looks a bit like this card, but you have like treasures everywhere and it's in like a cave, okay? But that's what it looks like. There's like all these things here, but again, it's really important. There's this ring that's in the center. It's almost like right in the center. That's so interesting. Yeah. Okay, so I do feel like that's part of it. That's not the full story though. I just feel like there's a bit of gratitude here. I think there's a little bit of, it's coming through as like relief from the fact that Spirit is confirming that you're finally coming into the like renewal part of this journey, because I feel like you've been in kind of this death energy for so long. Yeah, look at this. Okay, here's the other card they gave you. Look at that. It says prosperity, luck, and love. Yeah, there you go. So these things are paired. You see that? It's like this is what you're coming upon within this cave. And it's finally like your luck is turning around. I really like this energy for you, Scorpio. And I don't know, you know, for those of you who've been like following the last couple of readings with me, I don't know about you, but I've actually had some wins in my life, like quite a few actually. So I hope you're also getting that as well, whatever like form that comes in for you. But I do feel like that's actually what's been going well. Ooh, okay. Reverse, yes. Do you want this card? Ooh, yeah, okay, I see that. What's going well for Scorpio? The Hazel card. Okay, all right, so they're saying, one more. Sorry, 1 second. There's one more card that needs to come through. That's it. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I usually like to check in with spirit, like what's going well for Scorpio or whoever I'm doing this reading for, what's going well. And spirit is definitely confirming like this is going well for you. Like this is turning around for you. So this feels like this is what's going well for you over the next couple of weeks. And I feel like you've been like I said, a little bit on a bit of a winning streak. Now that may not necessarily extend to every area of your life, but it feels like there's something specific that is like picking up pace for you. It feels like you're coming into some sort of renewal energy. So this definitely feels like, big. And I'm a Scorpio rising. So these readings are also for me and also apply to me, but I've seen that. But here are the other cards they gave you, which are all major arcana. So you've been in a massive, massive change. Okay. You've been in a massive change. We have the Devil coming out in reverse. Yeah. So this has been, I feel like, again, you've been working through some sort of block, the Hanged Man. We literally got this card in the last reading. This was the card we got, okay? But you've been working through some sort of block. And what Spirit is trying to say is the block was actually connected in with this Devil energy, okay? Now, this Devil energy, it felt like there was something partially that you weren't seeing about yourself, but it's almost coming through as like this Devil energy is coming through as a bit of like a self-sabotage. Now, I want to be clear because that's not intentional. You weren't doing this intentionally in any ways. Like none of us goes through life and like tries to sabotage ourselves, okay? Usually what happens is we have things that are running in the background. They're usually subconscious. They're like parts of ourselves, inner child parts, potentially, that are like kind of running the show on things. And I just feel like you had to come face to face with some patterning specifically that I think was keeping you stuck. And I'm really like struck by the fact there's a snake winding all the way through this card. So this is something you've had to work through, is this Devil energy. You see, you're kind of like your energy's winding through this. Yeah, you've had to work through this throughout this process as you've been kind of going after the gold coins or the treasure chest or the gold ring or whatever it is that you were looking for. So you've had to like actually confront that. And you see how these like two people are like directly looking at each other? Yeah, that's the energy here. It's like you've had to come face to face with it. And this has been no small feat. Let's be very clear. The Spirit brought out this Strength card to tell you how incredibly hard hard and difficult is what I'm hearing. This journey has been. And this is something we've been talking about. It's almost felt like you've been putting in all of the courage and strength, and you've been putting in the energy and blood, sweat, and tears into trying to figure out like why you were blocked, why things weren't working, how do I get out of this kind of stuck energy, why does it feel like this renewal's not here, when are we going to come to a new chapter in this journey? Like all of that feels very clear and is absolutely present. But for whatever reason, it just, again, you've been working through this, and I just feel like it's finally loosening up. There's something loosening up here where you're able to actually move into some sort of abundance. There's definitely an abundance energy here, especially with all of the cards that I'm seeing. But make no mistake about how hard this has been. And I just feel like it has brought you into deeper levels of awareness about yourself with that ouroboros that we were talking about, with the kind of like self-awareness that's coming through with that symbol and with that image and with all of these cards. Whew, yeah, this has been a really big journey for you, Scorpio. And you're still on it, but I just feel like you're coming into the renewal part. You want this card? Oh my gosh, I love it. So we've got this one. This is almost the feeling you have when you kind of like finally come to the cave. This is like actually kind of the energy. There's a bit of like wonder, yeah, awe, transcendence, reverence. Definitely the reverence feels really strong, but I'm struck by also how Spirit is showing this like sun is almost like this similar energy to what's in this cave. They're showing the sun is similar to this like gold globe we're seeing here, and it's almost like a big gold coin or something like that. It's coming through as like finding your gems somehow and just finally coming into oh my gosh, I keep talking about this, but it keeps coming through my readings, the Cave of Wonders, like in Aladdin. Yeah, it's almost like that, this card. Ooh, I really like this. Is that it? Yeah, here you go. So it says Sacred Waters, which I love this card for you. Because Scorpio, you're a water sign, so this is you. It's like you were flowing. I'm seeing the snake kind of flow through this imagery. Even I don't know. It's even like the curviness that you see here, and kind of the ways the water is moving. It says, "I am in divine flow." You are. So this is confirming. This is confirmation from Spirit that you're actually coming into your divine flow. You've been in divine flow as you've been like this. Actually, I hear it, Spirit. This process you've been in with as the snake winding through all of the ways that you've had to work through this devil energy, the tarot card energy, which speaks to things like self-sabotaging behaviors. This is unconscious and subconscious like patterning that's unhealthy. This can speak to toxicity in different forms. This can speak to toxic behaviors, like all of those things, which there's nothing wrong, like in terms of like, you're a good person. These things, like I said, happen usually subconsciously, and that is coming through really strongly in this card. But you've been working through it, and it's almost been like you've been bringing it to the surface somehow, and you've been navigating this with a certain like, what's coming through is openness to see it, an openness to see the ways that you've been in this devil energy, or that you've been holding that in your energetic field, and the ways that you needed to essentially bring it in reverse, like heal through it, work through it, move through it, especially heal through it. Now, for many of you here, what I'm sensing, because this is what's coming through with there's like a black mirror on this wall in this altar space. It's almost like you've had to do some deep, this is coming through as deep shadow work, like seeing these different like parts of yourself, the different elements that maybe haven't been, again, super good for you or healthy for you, and you've had to work through. And like I said, it takes a level of strength to like meet shadow parts. Okay, do you see? This is almost like the Spirit is showing this to me as like, this is you almost kind of embracing the shadow lion here. Okay, which is a metaphor for like shadow parts, or again, it's a metaphor for the devil energy. Okay, the shadow parts that you needed to see. Okay, but it's almost like you kind of met that with love in some form or fashion, or openness is the energy. Okay, openness is definitely the word they want to keep using. So that feels really strong here. But I just feel like you're in some sort of flow, and it feels like when the snake eats its tail or circles the treasure, it just feels like there's a flow there. It's almost like you're in a rhythm. It's a feeling of like coming home somehow. This feels really good. Yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah, my dog's confirming that. He helps me with the reading, so yeah, he's confirming that. Okay, Spirit, let's do one more shuffle. Okay, let's go deeper into this energy. Let's go deeper. I want to know, are we ready? Can we get to that? Not yet. Okay, I want to know about this ring a little bit more, but they have a few other things they want to say. So hold on. Which card? Okay, this one. Okay, hold on. There's another card that needs to come out. It's a little touch and go here. Hold on. I feel like, yeah, I feel like this process has been kind of touch and go. Or even like, I don't even know if this is working. Is this like the right way? Is this, how do I actually like unwind this? How do I actually untangle all the things on this card? Like, how do I like get out of this? Yeah, look at that, the moon. It's like you haven't known which way to go. Yeah, it's been touch and go. It's been exactly what this is representing. The moon tarot card represents the subconscious realm. It represents the things that we kind of place into the shadow or relegate to the shadow. It can definitely speak to shadow work. It can speak to kind of the things that it's essentially the card of like moving through the unknown, because you see there's like a path here, right? But at night, it's really hard to see that. And so I get the sense, again, it feels really strong here. You haven't actually known, but you've just been walking a direction and hoping like you were going to stumble upon this treasure. And again, it's like you finally come to it. I really, really like it. And this is coming through as almost like you had to like battle off. I don't know why this is, I haven't read this card this way before, but it's almost like you're here like battling different like, these other wands are coming through as connected into the devil card of like parts of yourself. Again, it's not quite battling as in like repressing them again. It's almost like trying to come to a higher ground or a higher perspective on this, or a higher truth about it, okay? A higher truth about what these patterns are, what you've been going through, the difficulties you've been going through, okay? So I feel like you were able to actually battle your way to a higher ground in a way so you could actually see this a little more clearly and almost put boundaries around these things as well, of like, you know, hey, I'm actually not going to self-sabotage this thing away this time. I'm hearing that self-sabotage is coming through really, really strongly in this reading, but it's almost like I'm not going to do that this time. I'm not going to be overly defensive about this thing when it's actually something, maybe it's like feedback you got from someone else that actually I needed to hear and needed to know, right? That feels really specific and really strong. But it's almost like, again, there's an openness here, which is interesting because the Seven of Wands doesn't really say that, but this, again, it's coming through as like you getting to a higher ground so you could almost like actually work with it. Yeah, do you hear that? Yeah, that's exactly it. That's how this is coming through. It's so interesting. And that was the right direction. It's almost like you couldn't see your way when you were like kind of lower on the ground here. You couldn't see your way through all the wands, which were all the difficulties and challenges and obstacles and self-limiting thoughts and self-limiting like behaviors and patterns, and you couldn't see it. But the one thing you did try to find was to get to higher ground so you could at least get a better perspective, maybe somehow closer to the light of the moon here, so you could actually illuminate the things about yourself you needed to see. I'm really seeing the sun on this Wonder card now. It's like there was an illumination that needed to happen. And I just feel like you did something here that definitely worked. That definitely worked. I really like that. This card? Yeah, this did. Okay, let's keep going. What else? This card? Yeah. Okay, that I like it. This is exactly it. Oh my gosh, this is perfectly encapsulating the energy. I love this. Okay, so it's almost like you see how the earthworm is also giving similar. The shape of the earthworm is very similar to the snake. So it's almost, again, same vibes here. It's almost like you had to burst through the kind of like muddiness, the murkiness, the kind of unseeingness, the moon energy. Again, I believe earthworms are blind. So it's almost like that's the way you had been going through this journey, and you kind of had to go upwards. It's, again, higher ground. You had to get to a higher ground here. And now you've come into some sort of like illumination. There's some sort of like, again, higher truth of being able to see this clearly, to see it better. Like, I definitely feel like coming into this reading, you're either coming into some clarity over the next couple of weeks, or you've started to realize that before watching this reading, and this is kind of confirming it, okay? But this is like specifically confirming the journey that you've been on. You've been trying to almost like, you see how this is the moon behind here? Again, same energy. It's almost like all things I was just talking about. It's like you were trying to like reach up towards the moon so you could actually get some sort of light onto the situation. And I feel like it just comes through with some clarity. There's finally some clarity that's coming through. And I definitely feel like part of that is coming through this reading, but I actually feel like you're going to feel this over the next couple of weeks in some way or form or fashion. And maybe it feels like it kind of like shows up on your outside or in your external world somehow, of like, it almost confirms the fact that you've gotten clarity on something and the ways that you were being limited. And this Hanged Man is coming through as you limiting yourself, almost like you had tied yourself up, unbeknownst to you. Yeah. Okay, that feels really, really strong. Oh my gosh, this feels amazing. I've been loving these Scorpio readings because it just feels like you've been very like focused on something here. There's been a focus, and whether you've been consciously focused on it or not, it doesn't matter. It's your soul has been very focused on moving this path, and it just feels very, very good for you. I just really, really like this. Okay, Spirit, I feel like I want to talk about this ring. Okay, I want to talk about this ring, but I think we're going to do that in the extended because I just feel like they really wanted you to have this bit of the message. For those of you who are just going to be in the general reading, we're going to go into the ring bit, or why the ring is here, what the ring symbolizes, and why that's so important. We're going to do that in the extended, but I want to see if there's any last advice for you, Scorpio. Spirit, is there any last advice for Scorpio? Okay, hold on. They're having me cut the deck. Yeah, they're showing me the divine flow off this card at the bottom here. They're saying for you to keep going and to keep following your there's a direction you're going that feels natural for you. It's almost like when the snake comes into the ouroboros like circle, it just knows how to do it. It actually doesn't have to think about it. This is natural to the Scorpio archetype, okay? So it's almost like just keep following that flow and you'll come into this rebirth, okay? You just actually have to follow what your body, I'm hearing what your body already knows how to do. Is that it? You want one more card? All right, we pull this top card. That card and the Empress. Yeah, that's it. All right, so we got the 5 of Cups in reverse. Oh, I really like this. It's coming out, it's like this energy is coming out as like you coming out of, with this in reverse, coming out of a dark time, coming out of like a time of confusion, maybe a time of grief, of sadness, of not knowing where to go with this moon energy. These two are coming in linked with that 5 of Cups. This is coming in reverse. It's almost like coming out of that darkness of when like you eat your own tail is the example here, okay? And you're coming into the Empress energy, into the abundance. Oh my gosh, that's exactly it. That's perfect. Oh, wow. I absolutely love this reading for you, Scorpio. I feel like this has been so transformative for you. That is so clear in this energy. And the fact that we had so many major arcana cards like the Devil, the Strength, the Hangman, the Moon. I mean, you've been in it, okay? You've been in it. And I get the sense that this next couple of weeks represents a major shift for you in that cycle. And then it's like you're coming into, again, the jewels and the treasures that you were looking for. You're going deeper into that energy and into the rebirth itself. It's actually here. I'm so happy I get to deliver that message because I know how long it feels like you've been at this, and it feels really, really good. So I'm really wishing you definitely a lot of like flow within this process. So that way you can continue and hopefully come into this sort of like rebirth energy you're entering. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go into the extended. In the extended, I'm going to go into, Spirit's going to go into what the heck this ring is and what this ring is that you've been looking for and why it's so important. So I'm going to open that up for Spirit. We're going to look more at that. I'm also going to open it up for anything else they want to talk about. So we'll look at that in the extended. All of that information, as well as booking a personal reading with me, is in the description box below. If this reading resonated with you, Scorpio, if you could kindly like this message, this lets me know if this is resonating with you and if it found you on time. So definitely let me know with a like. And if the energetic like frequency, the vibrational frequency of this tarot channel is resonating with you, feel free to subscribe if you'd like. Would love to have you here and part of the community. All right, well, Scorpio, it's been an absolute pleasure to get to deliver this message. Like, truly was my pleasure. Just wishing you a lot of like good luck, prosperity, fortune over the next couple of weeks, and a continuation of this sort of basil card energy that you've been in. All right, well, I'll see you at our extended reading, or I'll see you at our next reading. Thanks for joining me. Okay, bye for now.